Great. So thank you all very much. Most of you who are here probably know me. My name is Sean. If you don't, well, I just told you my name. I'm Sean. I'm in North Carolina. Enough about me. I usually don't have sleeves. Yes, I'm wearing sleeves tonight. Now, everybody's going to be picked out of a hat except our first teller. I will remind you that even if his story is absolutely outstanding, the greatest story you've ever heard, he will not be going on to the second round. So we will remind you not to send his name to Mary if you want to, because he's got something to do. He's in Vegas. He's one of these big shots in Vegas. Got a lot of stuff to do. He's probably going out and who knows. All right, everybody, please mute yourself, everyone, other than our first storyteller this evening. Please welcome Mr. Bob Dancer. Boom, Bob Dancer. Bob, let me spotlight you and then take it away.
Thank you. Yes, we're not going to be able to be here. So Bonnie's in the picture. So she has some relatives in the crowd. And I just want them to know that it's not because she's ill that I'm bailing out on this. So she's fine. And I'm going to talk about her tonight in the story. So Bonnie, go find a seat and I'll talk about you. And I'm not worried about the 99 seconds. So what happens if they disqualify?
Right, exactly. Because Adi's probably already started the timer, but he won't. He's nice.
Yeah, Bob can't possibly win. So do what you need to do, Bob.
Love means never having to say you're sorry. That was Bonnie's response the first time I apologized for farting in her presence. I was 65 years old at the time, and since then it's gotten worse. Bonnie was a nurse for 40 years, and she always, to help people not feel bad about that, would say, first the gas, then the solid. That is nature's way. I liked hearing it called nature's way, so I married her. After several years of marriage, she's no longer quite a fan of my nature's ways. It came to a head about 2 years ago, November of 2018, and my turn to make dinner that night, so I picked boiled cabbage, my specialty. Cleaned up the kitchen, had to go to bed early. About 2 hours later, I'm woken up from a sound sleep by this wet, sticky stuff on my face, a sound that was, and Bonnie was giggling. And I wake up and discover that she's standing right on the bed and covering all of me with Febreze, odor eliminating air freshener, laughing her full head off. She thought this was funnier than shit. So I go, Bonnie, you can't do this. This stuff getting in my eyes, this is no good. So no, don't do it. She's still laughing and laughing and laughing. And I said, I'll go in the other room on cabbage nights if that's what you prefer, but you can't be spraying that in my eyes. It hurt. So after things calmed down, I thought about some kind of revenge, because after all, I'm not the only one who farts in this family, and hers don't smell like Chanel No. 5 either. But upon consideration, I decided I can't do that because I love her, and love means never having to say you're stinky. Boom.
Good job, Bob.
Now, do you have any merch with that particular end line quote that we can purchase from?
I'm thinking about it, but thank you, Adi, for the suggestion.
Now, Adi, did you happen to time that? I know you didn't need to.
I did not.
Okay, just to let folks know, what does a 90 or 99 second story sound and feel like? And we'll never.
I did.
Great. Melissa.
It was 1:53.
That's
slightly
very much
over.
of a Bob Dancer move to take a little advantage of the moment, but I'd have done the same thing. Great job, Bob. Thanks for leading us off. I know you've got to go. All good. Whenever you can stay until that would be great. And then have a good night. All right, ma'am.
Good luck,
all right,
everybody.
So let us now roll into the slightly more official. We had 18. Bob is gone, and one of our tellers will not be able to make it. That leaves 16. All right. 8 first part, 8 second part. No, if I were you, I wouldn't want to be called first right now. Hell no. But guess what? Someone's going to be first. You're going to do a great job, and you could go through. It's that simple. Here we go. Our first storyteller that counts. Addy, you on the time here? Our first storyteller this evening. Let me find you and spotlight you. You will unmute yourself. Kory. Sorry, dog. I got you. Spotlight. Take your time. When you start, we'll start the timer.
It was a typical Saturday in 1991. I'm at the University of Iowa, and there are co-eds all around. What do you do on a Saturday night? You drink and other things. I'm styling, wearing a pink polo shirt. I've got black penny loafers on with quarters in, because that's how I get down. And I'm wearing a pair of black Levi's shrink to fit 501 button fly jeans. All the players wear those. So I get out. I'm smelling good with Polo cologne, and we start drinking. Now, one of these people in the group is a friend, the other one I don't know. She comments and says, "You know, you look like a giant box of good and plenty." Yeah. And the drinks, they were flowing fast. I was drinking them down, and I lost track of everything. The next morning, I woke up in my bed, holding my keys, wearing my polo shirt, my penny loafers, but something's not right. I look down and I'm wearing a pair of white capri pants. Clearly, I had a good night because I'm literally in someone's pants, but I have no idea what happened. As I drank my water and took my Excedrin, I thought, I must have been good and plenty. Boom.
Yes, sir. Kory May in Iowa. Good job. Let's keep it moving. We're going to keep this first part of this first round moving. We've got a lot of stories. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Kory. Our second storyteller this evening in California. Let me find you in a moment, Elena-Beth, so I can spotlight you. Hang on. There you are. Take your time, unmute yourself, and have some fun.
"99 seconds. Chief Joseph, Nez Perce tribe, said it does not require many words to speak the truth. There is great truth in seize the day, but my own fear of missing out can bring me into a panic, especially growing up in high intensity New York City. In the 70s, my best friend Jackie invited me to watch her father tape an episode of To Tell the Truth. He had just had a book published about the great Lakota medicine man, John Fire Lame Deer, who was appearing with him on the show in full bonneted regalia, weathered face, sharing a peace pipe on To Tell the Truth. When the taping had finished, we went out to catch a cab, and they did, and I ran to the street to go in, and I noticed that Lame Deer was being left behind. So I ran back to him in a hurry. The cab, it's here. He gazed at me with a gentle smile and said, "And it will still be there when we get to it." I took his arm, and in utter peace, as if we were in the eye of a tornado, we slowly walked to join the others.
Thank you, Elena-Beth. A boom is not required to signal that your story is over, but that dramatic pause did just the same. Thank you very much. For those of you that rolled in here a little bit late, this is the 99-second story Grand Slam. We've got 17 storytellers, and we will have by the end of the evening one champion and 16. What do we want to call them? Adi, unmute yourself. Help me come up with a quick name for everyone who doesn't win.
Participants.
Great. That's what you are then. Yep. Sure. Thank you.
Consultants.
Here we go. Now remember, let us remember, Bob was not an official entry. So we had Kory and Elena-Beth. If you're at home or you're a storyteller, you're probably still at home, whatever system you want to do to decide who your favorite is, after a total of 8, and we've had 2, you're going to send your 2 favorite to marry. So whatever system you have, please note, maybe you use colors, maybe you use numbers. I don't care.
Yeah.
But I will ask you, hey, send the 2 best to marry in a little bit. So you might want to keep track. Our third storyteller in round 1. I don't know where she is. I think she's in either Massachusetts or Texas or Iowa.
Oh my God, I'm in Iowa City.
Iowa. Is Anu and break a leg? You're already spotlighted.
Good triangulation though, Sean.
Yes.
It's like right in between.
All right, Anu, whenever you're ready, Adi is ready. Adi, stay on it.
This is a story from when we were in the process of adopting our son. I felt like we were kidnapping him when we took him from his foster home a mere 6 hours after meeting him. The next few days were all about adjustment. He did well during the day, distracted by toys, adults' attention, and lots of food, like any toddler would. But the nights were a different story. They were rough. He was really attached to his foster mom and asked for her repeatedly for hours. Every night we did a daily routine, and one of the books we read was his comfort book, which was an album that I'd made with photos of me and his dad and the house and the pets to get him adjusted to his new home. Apparently, he looked at this book every night. He used to even threaten his foster mom when she tried to discipline him. He'd say, "Look, my parents are coming and they're going to take me away from you, so you don't get to tell me what to do." So most nights he just lay in bed. He wasn't a crier, but he looked distraught and in anguish. And I was feeling guilty and I was feeling second-guessing myself. I didn't know what to do to help him. Those were rough hours. One night as we were reading this book, it was like a light bulb went off. He looked at the book and he looked at us. Amma? Amma? Appa? Appa? That's when he made the connection between the people in the book that he'd been waiting for and us. Boom.
Thank you, Anu. Good job. Well done.
Thank you.
I don't even think you're spotlighted, but somehow you are there in Iowa in all your glory. I hope that wasn't weird.
Was I
By the
not
way-
spotlighted for the story?
No, you were. You
Oh,
were.
okay.
I don't know how to unspotlight you. You might be the star of the show
All
for the
right.
rest of the show.
I'll make sure I
regardless.
keep my face looking good.
Look, you're always looking good in Iowa, and it's weird. I don't want Iowa to think I'm picking on them, but 2 of our first 3 storytellers are in Iowa.
How could you possibly be picking on them? You didn't know she was in Iowa, Sean.
That is true. That is correct. though
She
I
was
may
still
have
in
been,
Iowa regardless.
everybody's
Like you,
everybody-
accidental bully.
Everybody's a comedian, huh? But how many of you are 99 Second Story Grand Slam champions? That's my question. Our next storyteller.
We're fixing to find out.
That's right.
Did you just get Southern? I'm fixing. I love that.
So we
Our
get a-
next storyteller in Massachusetts. Chandreyee, let me find you and spotlight you, Chandreyee. Take your time. There you are. She's unmuted. Have some fun. Break a leg.
Not ready yet. Wait a second.
Take your time.
All right. So my first day of school was in Doha in the Middle East, and it was a British school, which basically meant that I was one of the few non-white kids, but I was 6. I didn't understand any of that, and I was just excited to finally make some friends. The big day came. Morning went really well. Now it was recess time, and all the kids spilt out into the hot playground, running around, screaming wildly. But no one had asked me to play with them, so I made my way over to the swing set that was baking quietly in the desert sun, feeling a little lonely. So when Jennifer from my class started coming over, I put this big smile on my face. I didn't even get to say anything before she said, "I hate you. Your skin's brown." And then she flounced away, her ponytail swinging, and I was left looking at my screen to see what was so wrong with it. That night, my mom wiped away my tears and she armed me with this script. So the next day at recess, when Jenny came over again, I was ready. I squared my shoulders, took a deep breath, and said, "I hate you, Jennifer, because of your skin." At the same time that Jennifer said, "I'm so sorry for what I said. I was just so grumpy." Turns out she was new and disoriented just like me, and I was never lonely at recess again. Boom.
That's how you do it, Massachusetts. Like Massachusetts needs any help.
Can I,
State.
quick question, can
Yeah.
I know my time?
I don't think we allow tellers. Adi, executive in the moment decision. Do we allow tellers to know their time now? Unmute yourself, Adi. Let them know.
No,
Because that's going to set a really weird precedent.
it's just yeah, exactly. This is like that may lead to Supreme Court decisions, and we know how that's
I
going to.
was just listening to the podcast on Fiasco, Bush, Gore, 2000.
Yeah.
Precedent really matters. So
Listen, they're going to be busy, y'all. Let's not jam up the courts, okay?
yes. So
Quit jamming us up.
Mary will not speak much, but when she does, by the way, at the after 8 tellers, we'll ask you to vote and send your top 2 to Mary. Before you do that, she will summarize them for you. It's one more skill that she has that Adi and I do not. And so again, as you're listening to the tellers, whatever your scoring system is, whatever you need to do, sort of might be kind of good to know as you're going. And again, if you do go over, we'll let you know. If a teller's overtime and is not eligible, we'll let you know then. Just a quick reminder of sorts before we move on to the next 4 tellers. All of these storytellers have won or moved ahead in prior slams. All of them. They're all magic. They're all gold. They're all solid. Even in Iowa, really. Parenthetically saying. Let us move on. Adi's got his game face on. I like that. In the Peru hat, here we go. Storyteller number 5, round 1, is in North Carolina. Am I partial? You bet your ass I am. North Carolina. Sharon, let me find you. Shut up, Adi.
But it's only Sean that's partial. No worries.
All right. Sharon, unmute yourself. I'll spotlight you. Take your time. Have some fun.
Okay. I was 16 and I was invisible. So one night, 2 in the morning, I decided to call the Good Samaritan hotline. They seemed nice. They asked me, "Do you have a plan? How you're going to do it?" I didn't, but I quickly made one up because I wanted them to take me seriously. So I said, "In the car, a fatal accident." But I was thinking to myself, that doesn't sound right. That seems like a waste of a perfectly good car. Next night I called back and I had a different plan. I told them, with pills, I'm going to take all the pills I could find in the house at once. And I thought to myself also, I don't even know if you could overdose on Tylenol and outdated antibiotics. So every night I would call back, come up with different plans. They would listen. After a few days, they knew me by name. I would talk. I felt like I existed, like I mattered. And then after 10 or 15 minutes, they would say, "Sharon, we have to go. Someone might need us who's considering harming themselves." And one night I said, "Well, what about me? Aren't you worried about me?" The person said, "No, Sharon, we're not worried about you. You're going to be okay. Get some sleep and call us tomorrow."
Boom. Good job, Sharon. In North Carolina. I don't want to play. I'm not part of the judging here. I'm not playing favorites. Some of you I know better than others. That said, if I had to choose a state that won tonight, I mean, if I had any power, and I don't, I wouldn't not choose North Carolina. And New York would.
You wouldn't not, folks.
I wouldn't not, and New York would be second. I don't think we have anyone else in New York. Sharon has there's no favoritism. The audience decides everything. Everybody's done a wonderful job. You're all talented. You've all put work into this. These are not easy stories. To the layperson, perhaps they would think, it's 90, 100 seconds, no biggie. But I think in some ways they're harder than other stories. You don't have the time. Storytellers, others, check out the chat. People are showing you some love in ways that I cannot. Not because I don't have time, it's because I am emotionally unavailable. Let us move on. Next up, also in Massachusetts, he has got a kick-ass headset. Let me find him. Spotlight you. Zach, have some fun.
Awesome. I don't know if I'm spotlighted. I see Andrew. Am I spotlighted? I can't hear.
You are not.
I think Andrew's bombing Zoom. Let me I'm gonna replace him. There you go.
Okay.
Cool.
Am I ready? Okay, awesome.
You're good.
So probably the worst addition to my sex playlist has got to be Shake It Off by Taylor Swift. I'm on a futon in my room in my fraternity house, and I'm hooking up with this guy with big goofy ears. And the guy who lives next door to me was listening to Shake It Off on one repeat and must have passed out because I can still hear it coming in through the door. And as this guy with goofy ears is on top of me, I'm wondering, what is his name again? And how did we get here? So this past semester, I've been obsessed with this kid named Paul. He was president of one of the cool fraternities on our campus, and we've been secretly hooking up all summer. But we'd been engaged in this kind of a competition of seeing who could care less. And this past week, he tried to hook up with one of my friends, so it was time I needed to retaliate. In comes the kid with the goofy ears, who I nicknamed Slam Piece. Slam Piece was in Paul's fraternity, and I was like, if I hook up with someone in his fraternity, whether he knows it or not, I win. So Slam Piece is sending me nudes and I'm ignoring them, and he's asking for pictures, and I say, dude, I'm sorry, I'm in a Chipotle. And one day when I'm not in a Chipotle, I respond to him, which took a few days. And so I kind of grapple with this while I'm on the futon, and I realize I need to listen to the words of Taylor Swift. Player's gonna play, play, play. And with me and Paul, I need to shake it off.
Boom. Thank you, Zach. That's what players do. That's what players do. Right? Don't fight it. Good job. Good job. 6 storytellers. We're going to review them or summarize them. It was Kory in Iowa, Elena-Beth in California, Anu in Iowa. I know you probably don't care where they are, but I do. Chandreyee in Massachusetts, Sharon in North Carolina, Zach also in Massachusetts. We've got 2 more tellers, and then you're going to send your top 2 to Mary. Okay? Make any adjustments you need to make. You get to decide what you like most. Whatever your conditions are, you decide. Top 2 is your top 2. Nobody's going to know. Just going to send them to Mary. Our 7th of 8 storytellers. I believe this man is in Illinois. I'm sure he's got a nickname at some point in his life of Badass, but I can't say for sure. Let me find you, Jay. There you are, sir. Unmute yourself. I'll spotlight you. And whenever you're ready.
Sometimes you look at the people in your life and you realize, these are my friends. Holy shit, I need to get some new friends. But it's not always easy to push these people out of your life, even if they're bad for you. But sometimes they make it really easy for you to do so. One instance of this, I had a buddy of mine. He had the audacity, the nerve on my birthday of all times, to do this to me. He had the nerve on my birthday to die. He'd been in the hospital dying of cancer slowly for months, and he picks my birthday of all days. You know, he's got to make it all about himself. You know, he couldn't hang on for one more day. But in the interest of being the bigger man, I went to the funeral. And while I was there, we had some pre-funeral drinking in the parking lot, which led to at the funeral drinking, and then after funeral drinking, which turned into regular drinking, which eventually became after drinking. And it was sometime around the dawn when we were in the midst of after drinking, that I turned to my buddy Dave and I said, dude, I really think that we need to stop being surprised that we're all dying so young. Boom.
Boom. And Jay, was I right? Are you in Illinois? You're in Chicago, right?
That is correct. I am in Chicago.
Nice. And have you had the nickname of Badass, or was I just guessing there? Was that wrong?
No, actually, they made sure to stick me with Bunny.
That's so interesting. That's a very good nickname. It's perfect for you, actually. Moving forward, we'll call you Bunny. Our 8th storyteller. Good job, man. 8th and final of part 1. After this next storyteller is done, we take a few minutes. We're not going to rush anything. You are going to send your top 2, your favorite 2. You don't have to put 1 or 2, just 2 names only to Mary D'_Alba. And she should be on the top of that little pull down part in the chat because she's one of our co-hosts. She's probably the one that should be nicknamed Badass, actually. All right.
That's true.
Right.
That's true.
Our 8th and final storyteller of this part before the voting is, I believe, in China, maybe Singapore. Kwon, let me find you and spotlight you, sir. And there you are. Hang on one sec. I know you're unmuted. Whenever you're ready, have some fun.
I'm in my best friend Hong's apartment when he throws me this scrunched up white ball towards me. I catch it. He laughs. I look in my hands and it's a scrunched up, used nappy. I look at him and I say, you bastard. Hong and I are best friends for a reason, because he understands me. He knows what it's like to have parents who want you to get straight A's. He knows what it's like to have parents who are never around when you need them. And he knows what it's like to just have bad parents. And just like he understands me, I understand him. I look at him and underneath his smile, he looks tired and sad. And I ask him, what's wrong? He tells me that he hates his job and he hates his colleagues. So I say to him, why don't you quit your job? He looks at me. He then looks at his 5-year-old daughter and his 2-year-old son. And he says, I need to provide for them. In that moment, I have 2 thoughts. The first thought is, I never want to have kids. And the second thought is, this guy, my best friend, who's 40 years old, trying to be a dad for the very first time, balancing his dreams and what his family needs, he's just like my dad, being a dad for the very first time, making mistakes and trying to work out how to balance his life. And I think maybe I should forgive my dad because he learns how to make my nappies.
Boom. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Kwon. Where are you, by the way? You in Singapore?
Australia, down under.
I thought, wait, did you move?
No, I've just been down under in Australia the whole time.
Okay.
For the last, since COVID.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Halloween special. He was in Australia the whole time.
Okay. Is that your contribution?
Yeah. That's what I got.
Adi, do we have anybody that is not eligible to go forward because they went overtime?
No.
Everyone's good. Okay, great. What that means is that everybody here, other than me, Adi, and Mary, please send. Hang on. Don't do it yet.
Don't do it yet.
Don't do it yet.
Nope.
In a moment, you're going to send 2 names, only 2, to Mary and only Mary. Adi, I got your message, but it's whatever. Yeah, I'm just kind of ignoring you. All right. I understand the redundancy and all that, but forget it. It's too complicated. Mary, whenever you're ready, let folks know, give them a summary of each story.
We have Kory, who was good and plenty, waking
Yeah,
up
he
with
was.
different pants.
Yeah, he
Elena-
was.
Elena-Beth, who learned about life from a cab ride with John Fire Lame Deer.
Yeah, he did.
Anu, talking about her son realizing that there was a connection between the book and being parents.
Yep.
Chandreyee, first day of school at 6 years old, and became friends with a bitch with a ponytail.
Bitch. Go on.
Bitch, right? Sharon calling the Good Samaritan hotline and knowing that she was going to be okay.
Yep.
Zach, 2 words, slam piece.
Boom.
Jay, his friend passing of cancer on his birthday and after drinking. And
Wow.
Kwon realizing about his dad from a used nappy from his friend's son.
Well, thank you very much for that, Mary. Great job to our tellers. Those are your 8 names. Please choose 2. And this includes the tellers that told, because I assume you'll vote for yourself as one of those. Okay. But I also want to include that second one because your vote counts. It's perfect timing for that little thing. Don't rush. Take your time. Send both names to Mary. If you send 1, well, that's not, you could send 2. If you send 3, Mary's going to only look at the first 2. We've got 63 people here, minus me, Addie, and Mary. That's up to 60 different messages to her. Send it in the same message.
Yeah, that'd be helpful.
All right. So if you haven't done that now, it's okay. But in the same message to her, send both names. It's a little easier. Addie, where are you? Addie, I want you, if you're comfortable with this, to take over for a few minutes.
Oh, God.
This is your time, man. This is what you were born for.
Well, it's a lot of pressure, nevertheless.
And there might be an opportunity. We have 8 storytellers here who told stories, because that's what storytellers do.
Mhm.
Do you want to engage with them in some way?
With the 8 storytellers coming up, or the ones who already went?
The ones who already went. Maybe you have a
Yes.
question for them and ask just them to unmute themselves. It's up to you. Carte blanche, babe.
Yeah, let's do that. Actually, we've got to start with Freezing in Michigan, who did not tell today, but my goodness, I would like to know. So when I was in college, I used to fall asleep to an episode of Scrubs. Actually, it was 2 episodes. I'd watch one and then fall asleep to the second one and then watch that second one the next day. I want to know, is this...
Michigan. Who's in Michigan?
Well...
Sherilyn.
Okay.
Thanks for forgetting me, Sean.
No,
I would like to know,
only for the storytellers, but yes, Addie, you can include everyone.
Well, I've been wanting to engage with Freezing in Michigan for a long time.
Fine. No, it's great. It's all good.
Yeah. Is it actually freezing in Michigan? Are you safe? And would more bass notes in the storytelling be beneficial for you?
It is freezing and the wind is blowing horribly. So yeah. And my girlfriend just gave me these pajamas. See, I'm not me today. I'm a unicorn.
Is that a candy corn horn?
It's like a rainbow horn.
Addie, give me 1 sec. Hang on. A couple of tellers have asked about self votes. You get 2 votes. Do with it whatever you want.
Yes.
If it were me, I would vote for me and 1 other teller.
Right. You can't vote for yourself.
There are 2 tellers
Is that worth not pointing out to the...
I hope that answered your question because there were 2 people who asked that.
We have a hand raised.
Hang on. Yep.
Well, if my self vote doesn't count, then I want to make my vote count. I want to vote for the 2 people that I really liked.
Your self vote does count, though.
It does count.
It does count.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
You just can't vote for yourself
But your
twice.
second vote has to be for someone not named you.
Obviously, yes.
Right.
Thank you.
Yes, I apologize if that wasn't clear. Of course, your vote for yourself counts.
Yep.
In the
Nobody's
past, you
judging.
said it didn't, so it was a little confusing. but-
Yeah. All right. That's. I'm very. I am not.
We are flying by the seat of our pants.
We are not, Addie, and I have never claimed to be particularly bright or clear.
And just to be clear, you're voting for this round only, right? Because next round you get to vote again, and that time.
That's right.
Okay,
That's
just
right.
want to make sure.
For God's sakes, do not vote for someone you haven't even heard yet.
Everybody votes twice each time there's an opportunity to vote. I do think that's rather clear.
Also, I will say that the amount of folks with hair colors that fall outside of genetic norms,
right,
almost outweighed the amount of hair colors that fell within genetic norms during this round. Chandreyee, I'd like you to respond to that.
Okay, you want to call someone out in particular?
Well, I'll just say this much, that my actual great hair color is silver. So take that and make what you will of genetics there.
I mean, that falls squarely within the genetic possibilities. So, yeah.
Is there any other slippery slopes you want to go down now, or?
That's not slippery. I like that. There's a reason we have colored our hair. It's not to escape notice, right? Let's be honest.
Yeah, also, this is my time, Sean.
Right.
So,
But I mean,
Kory, if you did have hair,
okay,
what color would it be? And what color could it
Mary,
be?
please be quick with this, just so we can.
I just want to make sure, 'cause everybody's, if you're gonna vote, do it quickly.
Let's give them another 60 seconds max. If you haven't voted, all votes count. If you don't know this by now, with Tuesday coming, I mean, let us remind you, your vote matters. Your vote counts.
But speaking of dimples and chads, Kory, if you did have hair, what color would it be if you had a choice in the matter?
I would probably, if I didn't have the regular black hair or brown scalp, as it were, I would go with blonde.
Oh.
Because then blondes have more fun, and I would be good and plenty at the same time.
Yeah, sort of a kind of like a Wesley Snipes and Demolition Man thing going.
Or a Cisco thong song kind of thing.
Yes. Yeah. All right. That was double 90s references. I think we're in the right crowd, though. I think we're in the right crowd for that.
I just want to give one shout out to Red Kool-Aid, Red Dye number 5.
Any other? We're in no rush here, even though it is slightly painful. But Mary, when you're ready and you give me the go, then we'll move on to the next round, which is actually the second part of round 1.
Yeah, almost there, hon. I'm just
yeah. No, take your time because we want to get this right.
Yeah, while we're still talking, Kwon, you won our very first 99, or I think back then it was 90-second storytelling.
Yep.
90 seconds.
Have you been accepting autographs since then? And if you have not, how do people respond to that?
No, nobody has asked me for any autographs, but if you would like, I could wave my finger in the air for you since it's digital. Or I can send you an email with my signature if you would like.
That would be great.
Yes, I'm in yes for that at some point.
Awesome. And Sharon, how's North Carolina going? I'm sure Sean wants to know.
I'm in North Carolina.
Oh, it's lovely. It's really quite splendid.
I'm like down the block
from over the weekend.
Is there a story? We've got to ask about the cow. I've been meaning to ask about this since the last time you did.
Yes, that is my cow. I don't know what part of the story you want, but basically I was trying to save money and not buy frivolous things. And I managed to do that for 3 weeks. And then I saw the cow. And so I put on Facebook, should I buy the cow? And every single one of my friends who answered, except for 2, said, definitely go for the cow. And it was the right move. So that's the story of the cow.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't cogitate on it for too long.
Yeah.
And Addie's doing and Addie's doing this for free, believe it or not.
Yeah.
No, I'm not even paying you.
Right. Yes. I mean, if it would be, if whatever my hourly rate would be divided by like 30 for the 2 minutes that I was supposed to be doing this.
Now, the reason why there's a little more gap here and a little more time in between is because a lot of people have come. And so thank you for that. Thank you for showing up. You could be spending your Sunday night any number of ways, but it's going to take a little more time to do the votes. That's all.
You could have been doom scrolling.
I think with more people, you get I don't know if the word's like the right winner, so to speak, but you know, a numbers thing. It's more like
While we're still waiting, Elena, what would you be doing? EBK, what would you be doing if you weren't storytelling right now, besides doom scrolling?
Gosh. Well, I would have been taking a yoga class And then I probably would have been, well, what I need to do is finish researching all the propositions and measures in California, because I have not voted yet. And I don't want to just vote for the one thing. So yeah, as soon as this finishes, that'll be my huge priority.
But surely things like politics, when confronted with things like space-time, pale in comparison to what's going on in your background.
I know. By the way, if Ann Buxy is here, you wrote to me privately, you need to write to Mary de Alba. Thank you.
All right. Elena, who was that? Wait, hang on, stop. Elena, who was that? Just say it, please.
And Ann Buxy wrote to me who she wanted.
All right, so Ann Buxy, please send your two choices to Mary.
But I have a feeling that maybe she went to the bathroom or something.
It's okay. It's going to be slightly imperfect with this many people on Zoom, but we'll get it right. There's enough people where the averages will for sure reflect the truth. Let us
Sounds like Dimples and Chads all over again, Sean. I love it.
We are almost done with our count and we'll move on to the next part. There are a couple people you've yet to engage and I don't want to leave them out of the conversation.
Yes. Oh, am I still going? Oh, must be my birthday. So Anu, what would you say is the point of having a photograph behind you that we can't actually see?
Isn't it like, aren't you supposed to set up your house so you look like you're interesting for Zoom meetings? And so it's kind of that, you know, like, look, I have some lights and some mysterious things far away. There's a photograph behind me that's mysterious. It sets the mood, right? Like
you are a mystery wrapped in a riddle.
That's it. Right.
That's true. That's true. Who am I missing, Sean, here? I feel like with 64 tiles to go through, this is less. Of course, Jay. Jay, we got to talk about Jay.
Oh, this is your last one, and then we're moving on. So make it good, baby.
Oh, damn. Okay, so I've got to make this count. Then I will make this count. Jay, do you play the banjo?
No, I do not, unfortunately. I've tried to figure it out, and it is beyond me.
That's television right there, folks. Sean, back to you.
Okay, let us move on then. Great. Adi, thank you. And thank you, Mary, for counting the votes. Great job to our tellers. We've got 8 more. You know who you are. You've been waiting patiently. I'm going to start picking names. I want to keep this tight. I know that took a little while, but there's no way around that. We've got a lot of people here. And we want to make every vote counts. Every vote counts.
Amen.
Here we go. Our first teller of this part. Again, audience and tellers, keep note. You'll do the same thing in about 20 minutes, or whatever it works out to be, and send Mary names. Our overall 9th teller in total, Massachusetts, Andrew Shelffo. Let me find you, spotlight you, unmute yourself, break a leg.
My uncle said to me, a PhD, you know what that stands for, right? Pilot high and deep. And then he laughed the way that uncles do. I just told my family that I'd been inspired by the professors and teachers I'd had in school, and I was going to go to graduate school so that I could become one of them. Every time I saw my uncle, he would tell me that same joke. A few years later, I'm studying for one of my comprehensive exams, and one of my study friends comes in and she's got a strange look on her face, and she says, Rebecca just offered me the questions to the exam. Now, Rebecca is the English department secretary, and she has all of the good stuff. She doesn't have the answers, but she has like the next best thing. She has the questions. Now, when I first heard this, I'll admit I was tempted because, you know, I was worried I wanted to pass. And then I got mad because, you know what? I don't need the questions. I like a challenge. And then I got sad because I was thinking, how long has this scam been going on? And it turns out it had been going on for a while. And she didn't sell exam questions for money. She sold them for appliances. This was a George Foreman grill level appliance. Just one more aggravating thing about academia. I took the exam, I kicked ass. But I wondered, why didn't these professors I looked up to, why didn't they do anything to stop what was going on? It was so infuriating, the things that happened in academia. I used to think that my uncle was making fun of me. It turns out he was trying to save me. My name is Andrew, and I'm a recovering academic. I haven't been to a symposium in 18 years. Thank you.
You dog.
Hi, Andrew.
Hi, Adi.
Okay, none of that talk for this.
I thought this was like a safe space, Sean.
It is safe. It's somewhat safe for me. It's mostly safe for me. Great job, Andrew. Great job, everyone. Thank you, Adi. As always, let us move on. Because what sounds or feels entertaining now will eventually, quite quickly, feel old and stale. So, our next storyteller from the great state of North Carolina. Welcome, Kat Dean. Let me find you, Kat. Where are you, girl? There's
Right there.
Where are you?
Right here.
It doesn't work on Zoom.
Neither do directions
Yeah,
because
Dan.
files might be different too.
Don't worry. Oh, there she is.
She's dancing. I see
I'm
her.
gonna spotlight you so we don't have to see Addie. Whenever you're ready, Kat, take your time.
I'm sitting in the auditorium of McDougal Elementary School next to my daughter. Today is the talent show for the 1st through 6th grades. And a little girl wearing a pink tutu walks out on the stage and she's smiling. And the music starts and she begins to twirl in her ballet, which is her talent for the day. As she twirls, her skirt flares up and you can tell she's just loving it. And immediately I hear from behind me a little boy start cheering. He's laughing, he's making fart sounds, he's making fun of her tutu. And I think for any minute now, a teacher is going to come and put this right. She's going to fix this. And a teacher does come. And she leans down and says, Jimmy, cut it out. You know better. And then she walks away. But Jimmy does not know better because the minute she's gone, he starts again. And I can see the little girl deflating. Her eyes are no longer on the audience. They're down to her feet and she's not smiling anymore. And her dance steps have gotten kind of clumsy. And I feel my heart just tightening up because I can just feel her pain. In fact, I am this little dancer. I am trying to shine once in my life only to be stamped out. And the pain just keeps increasing until I finally turn to the little boy and I look him in the eye and I say, Jimmy, shut the fuck up. And he does. And she dances.
Wow. That's how we roll here in Carolina, people. Good job, Kat. Thank you. Fuck. Shut the fuck up. If Kat can curse, why can't I curse? Why can't I curse if Kat can curse?
It's your show.
It's not. It's our show. It's not mine.
It's honestly at this point, it's Kat's show.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Addie's a part of this. Mary's a part of this. But really, we're a show for the people.
That's true.
We are for the people.
That's true. I think everybody here doesn't mind the word fuck, though. I think we're all right.
No, we're good.
Yeah.
Anybody who minds it that much probably just doesn't belong in my little bubble. Right? Fair. Our third storyteller of this part, anyhow, next storyteller, Julie fucking Baker. Good timing with the F-bomb. Julie, where are you? Let me spotlight you. Take your time. Give me a sec. Let me find you. There she is. All right. Have fun. Break a leg.
We've only lived together a few months, and I've never been alone with his sisters. But I can't say no. They invite me to a wedding shower, and it's in New York, so I'm going to have to sleep over, and it's all women, so he can't come. And they are so normal. And I'm trying really, really hard for them to like me and not to be too weird. And I hold it together at the party. I ooh and I ah over stupid kitchen crap. And I, don't laugh too loud. And then I let my guard down and we all go back to his sister's house where all the women from out of town are sleeping over. And they start sharing childhood memories. And I'm thinking, uh-oh, I need to find something. I need to participate, but I can't be too much. I have to, be colorful, but not too colorful. So I picked something where no one was arrested and no one was injured. My dad is sitting in the doorway of the porch and he's got a shotgun across his lap and he's wearing a robe and he's pointing it at the wall where he's going to shoot a mouse that my cat didn't get. And just when the guy walks in the door, And then I see all of their faces and they're not laughing and they look horrified. So I'm trying to rush through the punchline and the guy walks in the door and my dad misses and says, "Miss the motherfucker." And they're still horrified. So I assure them no one was injured. My mom took away the gun after he passed out, but it's too late. And when I get back home to Boston, he asked me how it went. And I know that I'm supposed to say it's great. So I say it's great. And I tell him that they loved the picture frame that I got for her.
Boom. Thank you, Julie F. Baker. There will be no muzzling of anybody here. And by the way, Adi, there was a point at this event where we had 67 people. There are now 59. Find them. Find the 8 people who chose to leave, Adi, and do what you do best. Am I clear?
I'll be right back.
Okay. But for those of you that are here, I really appreciate it. We all appreciate it. Storytellers crushing it as always. We've got 5 more, and then you're going to vote for your top 2. Before you do that, Mary will give you a summary. Great. Oh, it looks like Julie's still spotlighted. Can't get enough of Baker. Our next storyteller. Gotta find you, sir. Ajay.
Can you hear me fine?
Yes, I can. And let me make sure that you are spotlighted. You're fine. Whenever you're ready, we can hear you good.
On March 23rd, 2016, I made a medical history. I was waiting in the hospital for my colonoscopy, and 2 young medical students wanted my consent to watch. I realized it's my ass on the line, but everybody else but me getting paid. I said, I'm not giving consent. You have to pay me $1 each to watch my colonoscopy. My colonoscopy is now a ticketed event. They said, why should they pay me? They can watch any other colonoscopy for free. I said, you're right, but you get what you pay for. You may see quantity, but not quality. Mine is a very sophisticated rectum with refined taste. When I fart, you can hear Beethoven's Symphony C in minor. And I take very good care of my butthole. I don't use those cheap toilet papers to wipe. I use the Wall Street Journal. And there is 100% money back guarantee. It is not just insurance, it is assurance.
God.
You have seen this asshole, now you get to see inside his asshole. And finally, have you ever seen a patient asserting his right on the view of his rectum? You will be forever part of medical history to support the patient's bill of right. They all laughed, joined my joke, and paid me. I became the first human ever to get paid for his colonoscopy. When I work home, I wonder, since I get paid to show my private parts, does that make me a porn actor?
Boom. Good job. Good job, Ajay. God, I have a lot to say, but wow. Yep.
He may not be the uncle we want, but he's the uncle we need, Sean.
Maybe that is true. Let us not show any, we cannot say anything to sway the masses to vote for anyone. We don't care.
Right.
Robbins.
Yeah, certainly not like caring about what region of the US they're from or anything like that.
Right. Not Carolina. All right. Hey, it doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't. Everybody's doing great. Appreciate you being here. Adi, let me know if you found those people who left, and we'll talk about what you should do with them. Our next storyteller, we heard from our first storyteller who wasn't eligible to move on. He had to leave from Vegas. This man, where is he? Where am I? Richard Munchkin. Let me find you. There you are. Also in Vegas. Good guy. He's a pretty good guy. Richard, have fun. Break away.
I am sitting up in bed reading an article about one of the world's leading climate scientists, Madonna. And she says that she pees in the shower because she is saving a flush. and those flushes all add up. And I look over at my wife and I say, Madonna says she pees in the shower. And my wife says, yeah, everybody does that. And I was like, what do you mean everybody? I'm everybody. I don't do that. I absolutely do not do that. And she says, yeah, everybody does that. You're the weird one. And I said, that is absurd. And so the next day I'm in the shower and I look down at my feet and I'm thinking, my wife pees on my feet. And then I think, well, if she's doing it to me, maybe I should do it to her. And then I think that's disgusting. I cannot do that. And I close my eyes and I get under the spray and it's warm and I start to relax. And I think, you know what? What the hell? And I just let it fly. And it is so calming and liberating. And I feel like everybody else has been at the party and no one ever invited me before. And so now I have to admit I am a shower peer. But I do not feel guilty because Madonna and I are saving the planet one flush at a time. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard in Vegas. Yes, the last two tellers, boy, have we gone into some interesting territory with the two of you.
Quite a few orify.
Not planned, folks. This is just how it worked out. Not planned.
Safe space, y'all. Safe space.
I can hear my husband laughing in the other room. It's his kind of humor.
Yeah. All right. Good job. We have 3 more storytellers. Then you will send your top 2 to Mary again. And then Adi will engage you in a way that he did last time, but hopefully even slightly better or funnier. Let us move on. Our next storyteller in Washington State, Silvana. Silvana, let me find you. Give me a sec. Where is Silvana? Because I'm not sure if Silvana has the word storyteller in front of her name. There she is. Unmute yourself, and I spotlighted you. You're good.
I was a semi-hyper kid in middle school, doing well. At home, not so well. My mother kept telling me she wished I'd never been born. She'd throw plates of food at me, and she always told me that she didn't want to be around me, and she even attacked me by kicking down my bedroom door. And at one point I said, I can't take this anymore. And I found my stepdad's razor blade, and I cut my wrist. But then it started bleeding, so I wrapped a knee sock around it. And a few days later, when I told my mom, she said, you should have finished the job. And I ached inside for days and finally decided to go to a counselor at school. And I must have talked to Mrs. Bowman for 45 minutes. And she said, here's a yellow pass. I want you to come back 4th period tomorrow and talk some more. And for 5 days, she gave me a pass every day. And Mrs. Bowman always told me that I was strong and I was resilient. And one day she said, Silvana, I have a special pass for you. Keep this with you all year. And anytime you feel the need to talk, this gets you out of class. And that pass was like a golden ticket. It showed that somebody cared about me. And surprisingly, I seldom used that pass. It was enough to know that it was in my locker. And on the last day of school, I threw that paper away. I felt confidence in myself. And 50 plus years later, Mrs. Bowman is still right. She said I was resilient and I've had an amazing life. But anytime I come across a big problem, I think about that yellow pass and I tell myself that I am strong and I am resilient. Thank you.
Good job, Silvana. Thank you. Silvana, who found Wi-Fi towards the end of somehow there was a few moments where we thought maybe she wouldn't be here, but she's here. What resilient people do. All right. 2 more. You'll send your top 2 to Mary. We'll take a little break during that time. You'll have your final 8. They will go, and then we'll use a Zoom poll to get your champ. So just pick one at that point. Good job so far. These stories are fantastic. Not surprising. Not surprising. 2 more names.
This is a grand slam, Sean. This is going to be
It's a grand slam. Yeah. Now, it should be noted, other than Bob who went first, whoever's not called of these final 2 is the only person who knows for sure when they're going to be telling. Totally not necessary, not important, just noted. Let's move on. Cora in another Massachusetts. Nope, Yep, maybe. Michigan, somewhere. Cora, where are you?
She's in Mass.
Born and raised in Michigan, living in Massachusetts.
Either way, you like the letter M. Good luck.
I do. I do.
Hang on, let me spotlight you. Okay. But
a few years ago, my family is new in town, so I decide to take us to the playground at my daughter's school because I'm hoping that we can all make some friends. And for a while, the kids are playing, and I am going up to some moms, trying to make small talk. And then out of the corner of my eye, I see my 5-year-old son up on the playground equipment with the biggest stick I have ever seen. And all I can think is that he's about to take like 50 kids out, and then no one is going to want to be my friend. So I go running after him and I'm saying, Will, drop the stick, please drop the stick. So he does, but he kind of throws it. And as it's arcing through the air, a little girl runs through its path and just gets clonked right in the head. So I run over and I'm apologizing profusely, and it feels like everyone on the playground is quiet and watching this. And then the mother starts to dress me down, and she tells me that clearly my hands are too full and I can't control my children, and I'm humiliated, and we go home. The next week, my daughter Marin comes home with a birthday party invitation, and she says, Mom, it's for Sophie, and Sophie's the one that Will hit in the head with a stick. And I say, oh, honey, that is so nice. Daddy is going to have the best time taking you to that birthday party. Thank you.
thank you. Thank you, Cora in Massachusetts from Michigan. Michigan State or Michigan? Did you go to either of those schools?
Michigan State, we won yesterday.
You beat Michigan yesterday by a few points. Well done. I don't think you were actually on the field, but still, congratulations nonetheless.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yep. Cool. So we have one more. Remember, after our final storyteller here, you will send your names to Mary. 2 names. She will first summarize. You'll send names. We'll take a few minutes to do that. We're not rushing because then we'll have our final 8. It should be said, these stories and these storytellers are fantastic. I'm not bullshitting anyone. I'm not blowing smoke up anyone's ass, but not everyone's going to go through. But whoever doesn't go through, I expect you to stay because we want to hear
That's
what
why I came back.
your
He
vote's
wasn't
not
like that.
Silvana, I'm muting you. Can't hear about
Oh,
you.
I was not like that.
Also, if Sean does blow smoke up one particular storyteller's ass, he is now legally obligated to blow smoke up every storyteller's ass, and that's not good for television.
It's a bad luck. Our final storyteller, she knows who she is. She's our second storyteller, I believe, from the great state of California. I think the state's animal is a bear, not sure. But it happens to rhyme with her name, which is Claire. Not planned what I just did. It's gold. Where are you?
That was good, Sean.
Thanks, babe. All right, Claire. Last but not least for sure, Claire, break a leg.
We've not been dating long when Bud takes me to a beautiful posh hotel in England. He's booked the Elizabethan suite, and it's got a huge 4-poster bed, a sofa area, and it's even got a jacuzzi. I'm looking forward to a romantic evening and some tender lovemaking. We drink far too much wine at dinner and then come back and share a bottle of champagne and the strawberries that Bug's ordered. Suddenly, like a small child on a sugar high, Bug starts bouncing off the walls like a bloody demented chimpanzee. Suddenly then he grabs me, wrestles me to the bed like I'm a rugby ball, and takes one of the ropes from the bedside and starts tying me to a bedpost. He turns round abruptly and tries to find a little tiny weeny camera, and I'm trussed up like a bloody chicken. So instead of, however, flash of light, I get spurts of water all over my face. I mean, who brings a sodding water pistol to a romantic getaway? It's to the early hours of the morning when he finally flops down on the bed like a dying fish and passes out, snoring like a pig with a head cold. And in the morning, I'm really pissed off, obviously, and he decides to initiate some energetic makeup sex, and it's hot and it's sweaty and it feels like I've gone 10 rounds with Muhammad Ali. We go down to breakfast, we rush down without even showering, and everybody stops talking and stares at us. And then on the way back out, I catch sight of myself in the hallway mirror, and I'm mortified because just like Cameron Diaz in that film, that famous section in Something About Mary, my hair is glued straight up in the air. Thank you.
Boom. And that concludes first round, divided into 2 parts. We had 16 official storytellers. Thanks, Claire. A lot of different states, a lot of different kinds of stories, good stories, personal stories, true stories, 99-second or under. Adi, before Mary summarizes, I'm putting you on the spot. It's a tough role you are. It's a tough role. Did anybody go over? Do we need to DQ anybody from these final 8? Where are you, Adi?
Possibly.
Are you waiting? Okay, let's let Mary summarize and then we'll convene.
All right. So Andrew is a recovering academic. Kat told Jimmy to shut the fuck up. That bully. Julie made an impression on her boyfriend's sisters at the wedding shower. Ajay is the first person that got paid for his colonoscopy. And Richard and Madonna both pee in the shower to save the world. Silvana got her golden ticket from Mrs. Bowen that still applies to this day. Cora tried to get her son to drop the stick, and somehow still her daughter got invited to the person's birthday party who got hit in the head. And Claire had her something about Mary moment with bugs.
All right. Thank you, Mary. So, Mary, just to be clear, 2 names sent to you. Is it easier if they just put like name, comma, name?
Yeah, that's the best.
Best is just on the same line for like visual. Name, comma, name. Just 2. Yes, storytellers that told you're voting.
Yep.
Whether you want to include yourself in that or not, but yes, your vote for you counts. 2 names maximum. Please use both. We'll take several minutes. We'll go at least for like, it's now 8:15, so we're going to go to at least 8:20. Once you vote, go to the bathroom, get a drink, do what Claire did and have some quick sweaty, you know what? I don't know. Whatever floats your boat.
99 seconds has become more than just storytelling.
Now, this is the moment, this is the time in which Adi's made some adjustments. So he's going to be a little bit even tighter somehow, if it's possible. If Adi can be, what?
Tighter?
And he might talk to some of the storytellers from this round while Mary counts the votes. Everyone vote. Your vote counts. Go, Adi, go.
Is anyone disqualified? We shouldn't vote for? Was anyone disqualified that we shouldn't vote for?
Hang on. All right, everyone's in. We did have a little bit of a cushion and one storyteller got in just under. So everybody's eligible. Everyone's eligible.
So on to the banter portion. Julie, we have to talk about this background. Are you familiar with the Quest Love Heart? Does this mean anything to you? So he has like it looks like Legos that are turned into a heart. I think it's like affiliated with a charity. And I'm wondering if there's any story behind, is it a quilt? Did you make this yourself? I'll let you freeform now.
Okay. My grandmother lived to be 100. And she was a prolific quilter who failed at teaching me how to quilt. And this was one of her quilts.
Hey, but you're representing. That's what we like to see.
Yes.
Okay, I need to cut in for a second.
Yep.
Guys, you can't vote for the same person twice.
Okay. So let's go back. Be clear.
Damn it.
Your only options are 2 different names or 1 name, but I prefer if you just chose 2 because there's a lot of great storytellers. Right. So Mary, in that case, if they voted for the same person twice, obviously just count it once.
That's what I have done, but I just wanted to remind someone who had sent me 2 names. If you want to vote for somebody else, you should do that.
Right, because now what's going to happen is someone who might go through won't because they don't get enough votes.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, while I agree that this is very important, it's cutting into my banter time. So I'm going to move to Silvana and ask, do you have the same wood guy or gal as Jay does? You're on mute, but we love you.
What does that mean? I don't know.
What does it mean? Look at your both of your backgrounds. You and Jay.
Oh, no. We're at an RV park in Lake Tahoe, and we thought we were all set up in the RV. And then it didn't work. And I raced down to this hotel and I said, I gotta do a Zoom call. So I am literally sitting, I mean, look, there are boxes here. My husband is guarding the door because just as I started, a guest came in. So he told them they couldn't come in. And this is the wood background at the hotel. So that's why I'm here.
I've been told that Schitt's Creek as a show is over, but if they need some sort of spinoff, this sounds like the beginning of one.
I think it is.
But on to Ajay's anus. So tell me a little bit, so are you a doctor or was this just sort of a general, like, or were you just kind of like accosting medical residents at a hospital?
No, I have nothing to do with medicine or anything. It was actually, I was going through the colonoscopy and I loved it so much. I have decided to actually make it on a big screen now. And you are all invited. You are going to get a half price ticket. We are going to have an open bar and open butt. And all my enemies are going to get only 10%. They get to get as a memorial, they can get my colonoscopy fee.
I can't imagine with your charming story that you have any enemies, Ajay. So thank you for that. Awesome. Who else?
Addy, keep doing what you're doing, man. This is gold, baby.
This is gold. Okay. Well, good to know. Good to know. Actually, honestly, I would like to go off script because anytime I'm doing something right and I'm pleasing Sean, I don't want to do that anymore. Okay. Let's talk about Leonard Morpurgo's hat because this is a deep cut because I've been looking at only the tiles with videos, but this photo really needed to be called out. Is Leonard with us and would he like to talk about his hat?
That would probably be a no. In Zoom
sounds
time,
like no. Wait. You hear something?
Yeah. And by the way, storytellers or others,
I hear him talking. He doesn't.
Okay. Unmute yourself, Leonard. A lot of people are sending all sorts of comments in addition to their 2 votes. So check it out, especially tellers. A lot of love coming your way. Leonard, where are you? This is.
I'm in California.
Yes.
Me?
And are you of the California Morpurgos?
No, I'm very mixed up. The bowler hat, it's not a derby, it's a bowler hat. I'm from England, but I'm also Dutch. And my ancestors are from Italy. As I say, I live in California.
This is wonderful. The last time I've seen a hat like that, there was an apple in front of the portrait's face. And so it's just wonderful to see an actual face now. So I appreciate it, Leonard.
Okay.
But moving on, let's go to storyteller Cora. Are you related in any way, or is the words within Cora in any way related to or adjacent to choral?
Question. A very good question.
I don't know, but I have been called Coral and Laura and Kory most of my life. And then like Downton Abbey got a Cora and now suddenly everyone like thinks it's a great name. But yeah, before that I was Kory and Laura. Probably.
One must wonder after that information if Kory has ever been called Cora.
I would say probably not.
Nope.
No. I guess I should let Kory answer for himself.
Yep. But I'm gonna Adi should probably be doing the talking because this is not my strength. Keep doing what you're doing, Adi.
I thought that was great.
Thanks, man.
So usually Andrew, I feel like Andrew is usually here with a certain someone.
Yep. That's true. Yeah.
And now she's blown up this entire segment by showing up. How is Andrew doing? To the lady to his left.
What the segment was that you had prepared, Adi?
The segment was, I actually didn't know, there's really not segments per se, but.
No, really?
No.
I couldn't tell.
Has my dance number been cut?
Richard, we need to talk about let's just move directly towards your urine-based tale of wonder. Have you I see there's a photograph behind you. I can't see it that clearly now, but I remember from when it was spotlighted. They're both of you in denim. Was that a decision that was made as sort of a hard line of like, we need to wear denim from now on, just to make sure there's no accidents?
No, that is actually my wedding photo, and I don't know if you could tell in the photo, but my wife and I are wearing red shoes because I lost a bet with a friend from college. I bet that she would get married before me, and the loser had to wear red tennis shoes at their wedding.
But your
And I
wife
lost.
was not that person. Was she in red shoes too?
My wife decided in solidarity, since I was going to have to wear red tennis shoes, that she would also wear red tennis. See, now I have a story for the next slam, Adi.
Dude, Munchkin, I actually think that is story worthy, and I love that story. And
Adi.
I love the solidarity as well.
Adi.
How are you doing, Sean?
I'm going to engage with one more teller before we announce the final 8. I need you to check Messenger and do something with that. This is awkward, perhaps, but do your thing. Yeah. And Kat in North Carolina, are you here?
Yeah.
Adi, whatever you're doing, just message. Don't say anything. My question for you, and I'm not as gifted as Adi is in this sort of banter and this back and forth. I'm just not. But clearly,
The bar is so low, though.
Right. Clearly, you've chosen a more of a purple theme evening, and between what you're wearing and your room. And I'm wondering if this is something you do every day, or just on Sundays, or what that's like.
What?
Where I can't hear you.
Well, I try and repaint the room every time I change outfits, and I think it's working out. Yeah, so there you go.
And you're wearing the lavender nail polish as well.
I am? Oh.
Maybe you only say that when you curse. Maybe
Sean, perhaps like me, she is a massive Baltimore Ravens fan, and we're just trying to get by from what happened.
Adi, you focus on Messenger and send me a message.
I've already messaged you.
I didn't see it.
Uh-huh.
Neither me or Mary see it. You're sending this to Mary.
Oh, wait, I didn't hit the enter button. That's on me this time.
All right. We've got our 8. It was very, very close. It's always very, very close. I thank all the storytellers. I never entirely understand audiences. I've been in several malts. I thought I was by far the best storyteller every time, but I didn't win most of them. You just don't know. You just don't know.
It's important to think you're the best and then be
right
severely disappointed.
I was the best, but anyway, we've got 8 names, and yes, it was exceptionally close. That's all I'll say.
Ties galore, folks.
There were ties, and then we had ties in place that we thought were the fairest way to do it. And if your name isn't called, well, if you're not a storyteller, I promise your name's not going to be called. Storytellers, please stick around, and your vote counts. Every vote counts. That goes all the way to Tuesday, and then after Tuesday, don't worry about it. Here we go, in no particular order. Our final 8, they will do their stories, and I will put a poll up, and you will just vote for your winner now. No more sending to Mary. Mary's just going to relax and get a drink now. Here we go.
Right.
No particular order. Our final 8 are Chandreyee, Anu, Sharon, Zach, Richard, Ajay, Silvana, Julie. Well done. I'm looking at the names, or I'm looking at the faces of people who didn't make it through. They're clapping, but I know.
Yes.
You know what? There's that moment of just bitterness. They've prepared.
Yeah, and for those who are paying attention, people with dyed hair, people who talked about their orifices, doing quite well. Just not to sway anyone.
So now what we have here, we have a grand slam in which everybody here was already a sort of a finalist of sorts. Now this is the finalists of the finalists, those 8 names. at the end of those 8, I will put a poll up. You will vote for your winner, just one. Now, it is possible that the poll doesn't work. If I don't then break my computer, which will screw up this entire event, as a backup, we'll work it out and you'll send it to Mary, but it should be fine. It's worked before. Again, I'm just going to choose from the hat from Peru. You're going to do your stories. Everybody other than, and this time, actually, you know what? It still doesn't matter. Just to be clear, everyone can vote. Storytellers will probably vote for themselves. I say that because if you actually want to vote for someone else, I mean, you should have that vote. You're actually not going to vote for yourself, right? Everybody else, though, please pay attention because you're going to vote, and we want to hear who you think is best, who deserves the crown. Here we go. Final round. Our first storyteller, Richard Munchkin. Let me get rid of my spotlight, Richard. Give me 1 sec. You're good. Whenever you're ready. Adi's timing. Break a leg.
It's a few weeks before Christmas and I'm in college and I do not have this Christmas spirit at all. I am feeling very small in the big city of Chicago. There are tons of people on the street. It is snowing. There are cars everywhere. There's Christmas music coming out of some of the storefronts, and I just am not into it at all. And I'm headed back to class. I had gone to lunch between classes and now I'm headed back and I'm standing at a red light and I feel a tug on the sleeve of my coat. And I look down and there's a 6-year-old boy and he's holding his mother's hand and he looks up at me and he says, "Aren't you the giant?" And I smile and I say, "Yeah, I am," because my college, my school has a children's theater troupe, and we go around to elementary schools and we perform fairy tales for the kids. And one of those fairy tales is called The Giant and the Three Golden Hairs. And even though I'm only 5'6", I'm the one who's playing the giant. And he smiles at me and says, "I knew it." And I walk across the street when the light turns green, and I've had many reviews, both bad and good in my life, but I think back to that one more than any other, because that day I was 10 feet tall. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Richard. Final story from Richard. Well done. Well done. Let me unspotlight you. Storyteller number 2. Let's do this. Adi's pumped. Adi's doing what he does best. He's timing. He's so good at this. It's not an accident that I asked him to do this.
Just always pushing buttons.
Storyteller number 2, final round grand slam. Silvana in Washington. Let me find you. These people are hiding. All right, we're going to take a moment and find Silvana.
Yes, Sean. They're hiding.
Where are they?
There's only 2 screens. There's only like 1 of 2 screens now. But
we got 49 people. Some people have disappeared. Silvana, where are you? Unmute yourself and say something. I hope you're still here. It is possible.
yeah,
Is it possible that one of our finalists is not here?
Yeah, I apologize for assuming you were too old to find Silvana.
So
I don't see her either.
She's not on the list.
She's not there. All right. We'll have to make a game time decision and be as fair as we can. If she dropped us and is coming back, if we let her in, I'm leaning towards yes. Our next storyteller. Sharon Eisner. Let me find you, Sharon.
I'm here.
I'm going to, you're good. Whenever you're ready.
Wait, am I spotlighted?
You should be good. Yep. Yep.
Okay, I'm not starting. I just don't see myself spotlighted, but that's fine. Okay.
I see you on my screen, which I assume most people see you.
Oh, now I do. Okay.
Yeah.
I do.
All right.
Not starting yet. Hang on.
Okay.
I'm sitting by my mother's bedside and I'm singing along with Ella Fitzgerald, her favorite CD. Someone to watch over me. And I can tell she's listening, even though her eyes are closed, because under the hospital sheet, her toes are going up and down to the rhythm of the song. And I'm thinking, I've never had anyone to watch over me, not in that way, but my mother has. My mom met my dad when she was 16 and he was 20. They used to walk around the Bronx together, singing in harmony, and sometimes they would go dancing. That was 70 years ago. Can you imagine? I take my hand and I smooth her hair back from her forehead like she used to do when I was young. To my heart, you carry the key. And I try to send all my love through my hand and through my voice to my mommy, my flawed mommy who tried to protect me fiercely from the world like a mama grizzly. Then suddenly it hits me. Maybe the song isn't about me. Maybe it's not about someone to watch over me. Maybe I'm the someone. Maybe I'm the someone.
Boom. Thank you, Sharon in North Carolina. I'm not partial to the Carolinas. Good job. All right. So we had Richard. We had Sharon. Silvana is MIA. Check out the chats, all of you. Some love.
She's back. She's back. She came back in.
Guess who's back? Back again.
Silvana, where did
This hotel is driving me crazy.
Oh, you lost the Wi-Fi?
I'm
All
so
right.
glad we asked, and now we know the entire backstory. This is
Yes.
it's a SCH shitty Wi-Fi that you've got going on there.
It is. It is.
All right. So I don't think it's a big difference going second or third. All good. So you're happy to. So we're gonna have you go whenever you're ready. Take your time. I know there's Wi-Fi issues. Your spotlight and break a leg.
All right. During the last weeks of my senior year, we did a unit on comparative religion, and two long-haired hippie dudes came to talk about the Jesus Revolution. And one of them, named Dave, had these sparkling eyes and this dazzling smile. So I talked to him afterwards, and he said, "Let's go to my van and talk some more." And we got in the van, and he drove me to a deserted park. And he said, "Let's go in the back of the van on the mattress because it's more comfortable." And I said, "Okay." Then he told me that I needed to believe in a higher power that was always watching over me. And for the next 5 days, Dave picked me up after school, took me to a deserted park, and he told me that I needed to believe in this higher power. Did I mention I was very naive? Dave then invited me to his house, where he lived with 20 other people. And I later learned that these 20 people were part of the infamous Children of God cult. And they used flirty fishing, which is where they used sex to recruit new members. And then I was at Dave's house. He said, "Let's go to my bedroom and we can talk." And I said, "Okay." We talked again about that higher power. And on the last day of school, when I was going through my graduation, 2 FBI agents came to me and wanted to know where Dave lived because he was wanted in several states as a sex offender. And I didn't say a word. He was caught and he was sentenced to what was then the Atascadero State Mental Hospital for male sex offenders. And I can honestly say he never touched me, not even a pat on the shoulder. So I think he was right. There was a higher power watching out over me.
Boom. Thank you very much, Silvana. I'm glad you were able to find your Wi-Fi. Good job. This is good stuff. Our final round. Richard in Vegas, Sharon in Carolina, Silvana in Washington. I don't know why I'm so married to the locations of people. I just am. All right. Let's do our 4th of 8. And remember, if you want to stick around afterwards and chat, a little Q&A, a little fun, a little this, a little that, I'm going to stick around, just letting you know. Our 4th storyteller. Here we go. Hang on. Let me undo Silvana as our... Anu, where are you? Anu in Iowa, representing maybe the entire Midwest. No pressure.
Possibly Boston, possibly Texas.
Yes.
Everybody wants to claim you, Anu. Everybody.
I'll go anywhere. I actually don't like the, yeah, okay. I shouldn't start talking about my life at this point. I should tell my story. I don't like cold weather. So when a friend was excited that she got reservations for us at Yellowstone for winter break, I was not particularly thrilled. But it was an adventure with friends, so I went. My first impression of winter at Yellowstone was all it was made out to be. And then I realized that I would have to cross-country ski to get around. My previous attempts at downhill skiing had not gone so well, so I wasn't sure how this would go. We spent 4 hours on cross-country skiing classes. After more hours of practice that evening, my friends were all zipping around me in their cross-country skis. And I was not doing so well. This was not a skill that I learned. I dumped the skis and trudged along some paved trails. I was beating myself up. I felt like a failure. Why can I not try this? Why do I give up so easily? Why can't I persist at things? Who even am I if I can't try harder? This was eating at my self-esteem. My friend stopped by to check on me and asked me what was up. I spilled my entire negative thoughts and all my stories about how I was not good enough. She just looked at me for a second and then started laughing. She said, "You're just jealous that you can't go as fast as the rest of us. The rest of it is just made up." And it took me a minute, but I smiled. And it was the first time that jealousy was a better explanation than all of my negative self-talk. The next day, my jealous self laced on my snowshoes and went on the most beautiful hike. Boom.
Boom, it is. Cross-country skiing. Thank you, Anu. In Iowa, just to be very clear on where she is and where she's not.
But this was in Yellowstone.
Right. Just to be clear, this wasn't taking place in Iowa, but you are now not in Yellowstone. Okay. I think I'm clear. 4 of 8 of our finalists have told their 99-second story. We have 4 more. Thank you all for being here, by the way. I really appreciate it. Let's move on. Does anybody, like, when I'm talking and I'm doing this event, is anyone thinking like he's so Ryan Seacrest-ish? Is anyone sort of, it's okay, you can say it.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Here we go. Storyteller number 5, Zach. Let me find you. Where are you?
I'm right here.
You are.
Well, that's not helpful, but
Replacing the spotlight. It's Zach. Have some fun, break a leg.
okay. So I'm 16 years old and I'm cutting up sheets and sheets of computer paper over my bathroom sink. My computer had got some sort of virus, and my printer printed out 80 pages of the gay porn blog I was looking at, and my mom's going to be home in about 15 minutes. So every bronze nipple and erect dick needs to be removed so I don't have to come out to her right now. So I'm cutting up this paper and making like pornfetti, just like small little chunks of porn that's unrecognizable, and trying to throw it into the toilet. And I try to jiggle the handle and it won't flush. And I'm trying to throw hot water down the toilet and it won't flush. And then finally I plunge it and it flushes. And I get about a test batch of like 10 pages down the toilet. But I still have 70 more pages and my mom's going to be home in 10 minutes. So I devised the perfect strategy. I take the pornfetti and I put it all into a Ziploc bag. And then I throw that Ziploc bag into the closet. Yes, I get the irony. And then from there, when my mom comes home, I say, "Don't look in the closet. I got you a Christmas gift," like every subtle 14-year-old, 16-year-old. And I bring a lunch to school that day. When I bring lunch to school, I put the pornfetti under the lunch. I eat my lunch and I throw my lunch bag away in a trash can on the opposite side of the cafeteria, and I run away because I'm afraid someone is going to go through the trash, find my lunch bag, take it out, and put all the porn-fatty pieces together and label me a pervert. But to this day, no one has put the pieces together.
Except for you, Zach.
Good job, Zach. 5 down, 3 to go. All sorts of comments coming in that chat, Teller, so check it out. By the way, we're at 8:43. I am a slightly under time. That's all I've got, because the more I talk about that, then I will more likely be overtime. Our 6th storyteller. This is a great event. Thank you, everyone, for being here, tellers and audience. I really appreciate it. A lot of fun. If you have an interest in doing this, we're going to have more slams. Before you leave tonight, I'll do a little like plugging of my stuff, but we will have more slams. Next up, Mr. AJ. How do you keep spotlighting yourself so seamlessly? There you are. I think you're good. Whenever you're ready. Ajay, I think you're good.
I do not see myself at all, so I wasn't sure. Is it really spotlighted?
Hang on.
Yeah.
Do you see yourself now? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I told my friend Bhavna, this is our last meeting. Chances of us meeting again are very slim, and we should say final goodbye. Bhavna and I have been family friends for almost 7 years. We both were in India at that time. She was about to leave for Moscow for further studies, and I was planning to go to the United States. At the height of the Cold War, once you have been to Russia from a third world country, getting a visa to US was very difficult. And I thought that she would find someone in Russia and start a new life there. But my travel to USA was delayed by a few years. So when she returned after studies from Moscow, I was very much there and we met. We were family friends. So her mother asked me to find a suitable groom for her. So we both went to a matchmaking agency and I registered her name in that agency. The lady at the counter offered me 2-for-1 discount, and if I added my name at the same time, and so I registered, even though I had no plans of getting married. When we came out of the building, something happened. I asked her, why don't we two get married? She said no, because she knew that I was not serious and enrolled my name just for the discount. Over a long chat, I convinced her, this time I'm serious, and she said yes. Next day, we went again to the matchmaking agency and asked our money back. Oh, and about that matchmaking thing again, I predicted you should be very careful about those words because we just completed 30 years of being married together.
Boom. Thank you, AJ. Good job. By the way, we have 2 more storytellers. After they're done, Mary will summarize, I think, and then I'll put a poll up. You're not going to vote for 2 people. Your only option is to vote for your winner. I will say this. Should there be a tie, we will then put those 2 names up in a poll, and you will vote for that, the winner. If after that there's a tie, then we will have co-champions. That seems to be the fairest way to do it.
You've thought of everything, Sean.
I really have tried to do backups and plan Bs and Cs.
You totally have, Sean. It's amazing.
Do my best.
It's very presidential.
Listen, it's more than Ryan Seacrest does.
I was just thinking how Ryan Seacrest-ish I am, but you even said more so.
Right.
Oftentimes when I'm walking around in my neighborhood, people say I look like him, but I don't know how you feel.
We have a similar question in the chat.
Okay, good. Let's go on because it'll be less awkward that way. Our 7th of 8 storytellers, and of course the 8th storyteller knows who they are. It's a unique spot you're occupying. If your name's not called now, you get to prep a little bit, you get to breathe. Number 7, blue-haired or purple-haired, I'm not sure. It doesn't matter. Chandreyee, there she is. I'm going to spotlight you. Take your time. Break a leg.
Okay. All right. I hate running, and it's partly because I look really awful doing it. But I also work in downtown Boston, so at least a couple of times a week, I cut it too fine and I have to make this mad dash to the train that's going to bring me back home. And that day, I hit the platform just as my train was pulling out, but the door to the car two down from me was open. So I kind of focused on that. And even though I had to stitch in my side, I accelerated, but the train accelerated faster and I started falling behind when suddenly the conductor appears in the doorway, reaches out his hand and locks eyes with me and goes, "You can do it. You've got this." And I don't know how I did it. I reached deep down inside and pulled out one last spurt of speed towards that hand. He grabbed, yanked, and I fell into the car and into his arms. And if I had been embarrassed before about the way I look when I'm running, it's nothing compared to forcing a stranger to embrace me. And I couldn't even walk away because my legs were jelly. But I didn't have to because that kind man started swaying with me in his hands and humming da 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 da. And so the conductor and I danced in the empty doorway of a speeding train until I had caught my breath and a shred of dignity. And I got a lot of weird stares as I made my way to find a seat. And it should have bothered me, but it didn't, because I was thinking to myself, man, Boston trains suck, but the conductors, they're okay. Boom.
Bam. Chandreyee, good job. Thank you.
They do suck, the trains. But the story had nothing to do with that and was an important one. I'm glad you told it.
Thank you.
It's I believe Chandreyee was the third person of our finalists from Massachusetts, right? Because we had Zach, we have Julie coming up in a moment. Killed all the surprise there. Our final storyteller, she knows who she is. Just for shits and giggles, I'm gonna say her middle name, Julie fucking Baker. Break a leg. Let me find you. Spotlight you. I hope she's here.
I'm here.
There she is with that quilt. You're spotlighted. Have some fun.
The thing I find most shocking about the sex toy party is not the glass dildos or the flavored lube or even the remote control vibrator, but it's the prices. Apparently, premium self-sexual satisfaction is not for poor people. But the friend who invited me knows that I'm broke, so she doesn't expect me to buy anything. But still, I'm jealous when I see everybody placing their orders, especially for the $100 pink rabbit. But I tell myself, you know, I have a basic model in my night table and it gets the job done. My daughter becomes a teenager and she starts cutting off jean shorts way, way, way too short. And I explained to her that it's very important that there be 2 fingers on either side of the inside seam because people should not see your labia when you're walking down the street. She fights like she always does. And she says, "Who are you to talk? What kind of slut has a drawer full of vibrators?" You see, my friend who was in the sex toy party business gave me all of her demos when she went out of business. And I got the $100 pink rabbit vibrator. That was my favorite, but I couldn't give away the rest to Goodwill, so I had them all in my drawer. I washed them. They were never used. They were just demos, but there they were. And my daughter was a sneak. So I just took a breath and I looked at her and I said, that drawer full of vibrators keeps me from being a slut. Boom.
Boom. Fantastic. All right. 8 storytellers, our finalists. Let me get my mic a little bit closer to my mouth. Mary, would you please, Adi, you'll send me a message. Actually, all right, we're good with time. No, everyone's eligible. Mary's going to do the summaries. I'm going to then send a poll. I'm going to cross my fingers and hope it works. You will just choose one. Mary, whenever you're ready.
Yes. So just there was a question that came up in the chat that storytellers can vote for themselves in this round also, right?
Absolutely.
All right, just putting that out there.
Just have the one vote though. That's it.
That's just it. That's it.
The poll. You'll get it in a second.
That's right. All right, Richard was recognized for being the giant that day and knew how it felt to be 10 feet tall. Sharon was watching over herself as she was watching over her mom in the hospital. Silvana had a brush with the higher power and the children of God, and thank goodness someone was watching out for her. Anu realized that it was better to be in snowshoes than necessarily cross-country skiing. Zach went down to one word, pornfetti. Ajay did his own matchmaking instead of using a matchmaker. Chandreyee was running for the train and had a nice dance. As we know, conductors are better than the actual train service. And Julie wanted to let us know that premium self-satisfaction is pricey.
Boom. All right. I have got 8 names ready to go. I'm going to do my very best to save this.
And guys, don't send me, people are sending me people. You're
Nope.
voting in the poll. You do not send them to me. Thank you, but I can't, now this one's out of my hands. It goes, you're going to vote in the poll.
Yep.
Yuri, you do such a good job with the recaps.
Oh, thank you.
Now, I will say, everyone sit tight because for some reason, the poll that I just created didn't work. Hang on one sec. Give some more thought to your winner. If this doesn't work this time, 1, I'll apologize.
And 2, I guess I'm counting.
Yeah, I was going to say, we may need to make a poll to figure out whether or not Mary's going to be the one doing the
And
vote.
if this doesn't work, if this doesn't work,
I better
then-
get overtime pay, Sean.
What's that?
I only got paid for 2 rounds. I better get
Sorry
over.
about that. Mary, tell me just the tellers in order.
Yep. So we've got Richard.
Hang on.
Yep.
Okay.
Sharon.
Okay.
Silvana.
Yep.
Anu.
Yep.
Zach.
Yep.
Ajay.
Yep.
Chandreyee.
I'm just making sure I spell that right. She knows that I have issues. I don't know how to spell her name. Okay. Yep.
And Julie fucking Baker.
Yep. All right. I tried it again. I apologize. I'm saving it. We're going to try to save it. We're going to try to send it. I know this is like not particularly high level stuff and it's still not working.
It's not working. Okay.
Send it to you.
All right. So guys, step back, clear. I'm going to start looking at votes now. So if you sent it to me already, resend one.
Just to be super clear. Yeah. Everybody just stop right now. I take full responsibility for screwing that up. As of this moment, please just send one name and one name only to Mary and only Mary. Okay. No rush. Got a few minutes. I apologize. I've done the poll before and it's worked, but for some reason it didn't this time, or I don't know. Mary, if there are any issues, let me know.
I mean, what I'm hearing is a fantastic opportunity for some more crowd banter.
Yep.
Speaking of Marys that aren't the Mary in question, Mary Jo Pollock.
Yep.
Look at the alertness with which she just responded. How are we doing today? And does that couch do a full 180-degree recline? You're on mute, but oh, there we go.
It's a chair, not a couch. It goes, yeah, it goes back like a bed. It can.
It can.
Mhm.
That's good.
Not when I have my computer table in front of it, however. So I sit cross-legged.
Wonderful.
I have something to throw out.
Oh.
Kory May just won a haunted story slam with the National Storytelling Network the other day.
Oh.
Who said that?
EBK.
Oh, okay.
Just to remind everyone, I'll give Kory his moment in a sec. One name, just to Mary Diaba. One of those 8 names to Mary. If for whatever reason you don't have, you don't remember the names because you were expecting a poll, unmute yourself. I'll send it to you. I want to make sure everybody here, we have 55 people. So minus me, Mary, and Adi, that's 52 potential votes. And I hope you can all vote. No rush. We should have a winner by 9 o'clock, which means I'm under time. That was my goal. And then if you want to stick around, you stick around. And if you don't, I thank you for being here. Adi, I'm going to take a little bit of your space right now while people are doing their thing, just to let people know. In the next month, on Sunday evenings, we've got several events. So the next one, next Sunday, is called Mental Health Happy-ish Hour, open mic. Following that, Story Flash. We do a little story, little improv. It's a lot of fun. These are always on Sunday nights.
Wait, so the same day as both events, Sean?
No, Sunday, then the next Sunday is going to be our 7x7, which is a curated event, 7 tellers. And then we'll have another slam, and I'll announce that. What I'm going to do in the chat to everybody is just put the link to the Facebook group's event. So if you're interested, join us. I'd love to see you there. The only other announcement I have, and then I'll let Adi get back to what Adi does best while Mary counts, is, and thank you, Mary, for doing this, by the way. I apologize. Kurt Mullen, who couldn't be here tonight, and I have started a podcast. It's called Grit, True Stories That Matter. Our 3rd episode will be released Thursday morning. So if you go to Apple or Spotify and you search Grit, True Stories That Matter, you'll find it. It's good. Thank you for your support. I'm done. Adi's back.
Kurt, by the way, is, I would say, an equal to Sean in things story related. But if you feel like Sean's jaw has something lacking, that's where Kurt comes in. Is that about right?
You nailed it.
Kory, but back to you, man. I feel like we just like EBK just like dropped a bomb and then we went off to the ether there. So tell us what happened. I don't think of you as a scary sort of dude. Are you sort of the next Jordan Peele? Discuss.
That's a really good analogy. And not to be a dick, but that was the second of 2 wins, because the Minneapolis, or the Twin Cities Moth, I took first place in that one on Wednesday.
Woo!
And then I traveled up the road via internet to the Minnesota one and took that one too.
Damn. Now, were they both the same scary story, or did you just?
Yeah, it was the same scary story. It was the first time I was called the N-word, and you should have seen it on Monday, on Wednesday at the Moth, because I dropped the opening line as "Daddy, what's an N-bomb?" and everybody's heads are like, "What? Did he actually say that?" And
yes, there's a lot of pearls to be clutched at Moth events, Kory. So I'm glad you did that.
I seem to have assaulted some people's virtues, but afterwards, by the time we got to the end, it was powerful.
That's awesome, man. There are some requests coming in from the chat about how can we hear this story. Is that something you want to keep your cards close to your chest on, or is there some way of seeing this?
I ordered the recording from the Moth, and I'm supposed to get it in 8 weeks. And then I also ordered a recording from the National Storytellers Network, and whenever I get that, I'll get that too. And I'll let y'all know if—
Adi, let me interrupt with breaking news. If anybody hasn't voted, you have 10 seconds to vote. If not, I'll have something else to say. And now we are counting down 10. Adi, you're the timer, so you just let me know when 10 is done, because I don't want to actually count it down. 5 seconds right there. Okay.
Now?
Yep.
Now.
Oh, the night was going so well, and then all
now.
Here we go. So for some reason, I need to get up on my poll game.
You need to get off the poll. We've been trying to tell you for a long time.
It keeps bringing up an old poll, and I just don't know how to get rid of it. I'm sure it's very clear. We have a tie. And so, as promised, I'm going to ask Mary to do more work now because the poll isn't working. As promised, instead of co-champions right away, you will just have 2 choices. And if there's a tie, then we have co-champions. But perhaps we will have a winner. We have two a tie for first. So your options, which you will now send to Mary, and thank you for doing this, and I appreciate your patience, is either Silvana or Zach. Those are your options. Thank you, everyone, so much for doing this. Finalists, non-final, whoever you are. Great job. Silvana and Zach, everybody send Mary de Alba just one name. And
I want to mess with Silvana and tell her, if you can't accept this award due to your piss poor Wi-Fi, just like in a beauty contest.
Mary, could you re-summarize the two stories?
Sure. Yep. We have Zach with pornfetti, and Silvana had a brush with the children of God.
Thank you, Mary.
You're welcome. Doing a lot here.
I'm going to be doing some Googling of certain components of the Zoom polling, which is weird. But maybe afterwards, if people can stick around and they know more than I do, let me know, because I'll tell you what the issue was. But not now. Vote away. Vote away. We'll announce the winner. We'll formally end this wonderful evening. And then if you want to stick around a bit, I'm happy to do that.
Well, I'm going to keep talking.
Oh, Aditya?
Be quiet. Yeah.
Yes, Kory.
Real quickly, because we should spread all the credit around. Richard Munchkin and Bob Dancer both won Moth events last week, too.
Oh, I'm sure amongst all of these folks are a lot of people. I just found the Halloween part particularly exciting because it's like topical. But yes, Richard and I think Bob, is he still with us, or is he?
Bob has been gone for quite a while.
Yeah, I'm sure he's now like just taking body shots. I don't know what's going on with Bob at this point.
It should be noted, Adi, it should be noted that what we have here is not New York, LA, but it is East Coast, West Coast. It is not Tupac and Biggie, but it is an East Coast, West Coast battle of sorts. It's worked out that way.
In the chat, it says Mariah won a moth last week too.
A lot of people are winning moths.
Richard and I were also in the haunted story slam. I'm losing more and more of these.
By the way, but
would you say you're sort of spiraling downwards into some sort of gravitational pull, EBK?
The only way to win is to be in it. Right? And just to be clear, I'm not saying Zach is Biggie. And I'm not saying Silvana is Tupac. I'm simply saying there's some sort of correlation one can make.
Because speak to any.
Are you talking about my weight?
They would tell you they are not dead, John.
What kind of tension there must be for Zach and Silvana? It's killing me. Who won?
Elena-Beth, are you the Susan Lucci of storytellers?
Oh, excellent.
That was a low blow, but a fair question.
I would totally steal that.
Mary, when it's clear the winner, I want you and not me, please, to announce it.
All right.
Though I do feel like putting out a flash competition of if Silvana can hit us with a Tupac lyric and Zach with a Biggie lyric, maybe some sort of like automatic.
I got you. Zacky, can't you see? Sometimes that profanity hypnotizes me.
Damn it. I was hoping that your love of like Taylor Swift or whatever was going on in your story might mean that you didn't know Biggie lyrics. Silvana, to you, Tupac. She's muted. I'm assuming she's rapping Tupac lyrics galore.
Yeah,
right
that was a rap saying I have no clue what's going
That
on
was
when it comes to
perfect.
music.
I heard, I lip read and I heard a bunch of Tupac lyrics going on right now. I think it was Dear Mama, and it was fantastic.
What kind of excitement and anticipation? Can you feel it, Adi?
I feel it. I feel it.
What's behind you, by the way? We don't really know much about you. Is that some sort of massage chair? Real quick, just real quick. What do you got behind you?
What? This? That's a Peloton. That is the opposite of a massage chair.
Okay. You got a lot of little gadgets back there. Adi, thank you for doing all you do. Your timing, you're engaging. Mary's done all sorts of things. She's going to announce the winner in just a moment.
Yeah, I put you if you want to check your chat.
Whenever you're ready, Mary.
I'm ready.
However you want to do it,
Ready.
announce this winner of the Grand Slam. And again, thank everyone. Stick around. And if you want to know more about the events, I put the group's link in the chat. I'm going to shut up now. Mary.
It was close, guys. That's why it took a minute, because I wanted to count a second time just to make sure. But our boy from Boston, Zach, took it as a Grand Slam winner.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
We will all be using the word pornfetti from now on.
Whenever you create a word for the masses, you've done good work. Zach, we're going to put you on the spot. Any words? There's no prize. It's just the glory.
Thank you so much. I'm humbled. The fact that I told a story about hiding porn when someone escaped a cult, I'm honestly shocked and a little offended that Silvana didn't win.
All right, well, a formal massive thanks, to everybody, the storytellers, everybody who came and supported, who voted, spent part of their Sunday evening with us, and Adi and Mary, as always, thank you. It's a sort of formal thanks, wonderful, and good night. And hang out if you want. I'll unmute yourselves, and we'll chat. And that's it. Thanks again, and congrats to everybody, including, of course, Zach.